Today I wanted to share a small message about something that, a realization that came up to me in my meditation. And it is the age old question of who am I? What am I? Hola, hola. What a beautiful day today. A super duper day, a day of work. Just to give you an example, I woke up in the morning. I did 1.5 hours of Anapana meditation, which is usually just a case of waking up and sitting down and watching my breath. And I count my breath up to 1,000 breaths, breathing normally. And that usually takes me 1.5 hours. Then I do pranayama. Pranayama is conscious breathing, where you regulate and modulate your breathing to attain certain outcomes. And mainly, pranayama is about uh, regulating your nervous system, getting a balance between your parasympathetic nervous system as well as the sympathetic nervous system. When it is balanced, your frequency, the wave, brain waves, even the heart waves, uh, they synchronize. And when they synchronize, your perception, your way of seeing, your way of viewing the world changes. In other words, you change yourself through pranayama, but you also change the world in which you live. And you change the dial towards more of heaven, away from the hell, but towards the heaven. And if you do it at the beginning of the day on an empty stomach, the whole day tends to be perfect, fine. You're not easily irritated. You don't fatigue. And when you fatigue, you recover so quickly. For example, today, I've not sat down because right after that pranayama, I did my normal Om chanting. Om chanting is really a form of meditation in which you use sound, uh, and it is believed that the Om sound is the original sound of the universe. So when you chant Om, you are causing your interior to vibrate at the same frequency as the vibration of the universe. So you're causing a synchronicity between your interiority as well as your outside. And of course, that is exactly what you would like to be, because you and nature are one. You and the universe and the cosmos are one, but you've been separated by your lifestyle, your way of thinking, your belief systems, and your lack of knowledge. For example, you don't know about Om. Many people don't know about Om. It's even a bit embarrassing just to sit there for a man to sit down there and start chanting Om. It's like you're mad, especially when you're educated by the Muzungu, Western thinking, because that Om is Oriental, Indian, and Chinese. In India, if you're phone chanting, people hold you in high regard. While for us here who are educated by our colonial white mindset, we find chanting a bit weird. But I believe that every man ought to chant, because as a man, when you chant and cause your interior to vibrate at the frequency of the universe, you merge with the cosmos together, with your outside and your inside, and train. They vibrate at the same frequency. Then you definitely bring the best of yourself to every aspect that you're engaged in, whether it is family, whether it is husband, marriage, whether it is business, like with my Karibu Shop customers. You know, uh, it's amazing. It's amazing. It is high responsibility for a man to chant, to try to achieve synchronicity. with the universe. High responsibility. It is a sign of maturity for a man to chant. That's like the kind of thinking I have. A kind of thinking I never had. So I do chant twice a day. And each chanting session is 108 times of chanting. It takes me 32 minutes, something like that. Every morning when I wake up, every night before I sleep, I chant because I want to be the best version of myself. And I've done that for 4 years. Imagine a man who chants twice a day for 4 years. What about in 10 years? Because every time you chant, you get better. You get better. You get better. That's the thing about the spiritual journey, is that every day, as long as you're in the game, doing the process, married to the process, you keep on improving, from glory to glory. Yeah, so I finished my chant. I did Anapana, I did the breathing, pranayama, microcosmic orbit breathing. Then I did my chant. Then I got out and I took a 10-kilometer walk. 10-kilometer walk. I went to Namolanda, a place called Namolanda, to get my national ID. But I reached there and bounced. Came back. The journey cost me about 10 kilometers. Wonderful walk in the heat, in the sun, enjoying myself, knowing exactly what I'm doing. Yeah. And when I reached here, I took a cup of coffee. I haven't taken coffee in a while. I bought my coffee on the way, took a cup of coffee, and headed straight into a 2-hour Qigong session. It's the kind of life that I live. A life in which I surrender to the process. A life in which I am the reason. I am the purpose. I am the meaning of my life. Everything I do it for me. Because when I light up, inevitably I will light up the world. When you put a candle in a dark room, the candle is not trying to light up the room. The candle is just being a candle. The candle is just trying to be the best candle it can be. But inevitably that room will light up. So if you want to make the world a better place, mind your own business. And your own business is you. Work on yourself. Commit to working on yourself. And let the work be the reason, be the purpose, be the meaning. Because the fruits, as nature shows us, are not even enjoyed by you. The tree never tries to create a good shade. It's not growing up saying, oh, I want to make a good shade. Oh, how many people have come under me today? How many followers do I have? Oh my God, I have to leave a legacy when I die. No, the tree is just trying to be the best tree it can be. Putting its roots down, combining, using that mycelial network, the fungal network under there that connects all the trees together, communicating, sharing nutrients, sending that taproot down, creating the leaves, positioning itself in the best way possible to receive the sun. That is the work of the tree. And when the tree creates a good shade, people come and go in the shade. Some trees don't even create a good shade, but they don't care, because for them, being the best tree they can be is what matters to them. And even when they produce the fruit, they don't eat the fruit. The tree does not eat its fruit, but it doesn't care. But its goal is to make the best fruit possible that will ensure that it propagates itself. And that's what nature is teaching us. All the lessons are out there. So I do not think that I'm going through all these meditations, fasting, daily fasting, exercising, expanding my consciousness so that I can be better than you. That's not my goal. Could have been my goal at the beginning, but as you expand your consciousness, you get to realize that the work is the reason, that the joy is on the journey, that you should aim to become obsessed and to unite with the process, not be obsessed with the outcome. Because even when it comes to the outcome is usually based on God's own timing, not your timing. Whenever God determines that you have now become ready, he unlocks a certain level for you. And that is his business, not my business. My business is the process. So anyway, I tend to digress. But as I was doing my meditation, I thought I could share something. As I was doing my Qigong, 2 hours, being still for 2 hours. Right now, after this video, I'm going for another session, by the way. Before I break my fast, I must do another Qigong session. I'm that committed. Elite level commitment. So I thought, who am I? And I realized that when somebody dies, we say that their soul and their spirit has been separated from them. But when we see actually what has been separated is the breath. The breath is no longer entering the body. The breath has gone back to this air because the breath is this air. So which means if they say that the soul or the spirit has separated from the body, it means that the breath is the spirit. That's why they say the soul has left the body. It is the breath that has left the body. So therefore the breath is the spirit. This air is the spirit. This body is not you. What animates this body is the air, because this air is a substance full of water and gases and radio waves and X-rays and infrared. This is a soup. But when it enters this body wakes up. It gives it consciousness. In fact, if you stop breathing for about 4 minutes and this air does not enter this body loses consciousness, which means this air here is the spirit. This air here is the energy. This air here is the consciousness. Consciousness is in the air. And this air is you. Because when you get out of this body is no longer called you. It is called your body. You have gone back to the air, to the atmosphere, to the universe, to your home, to who you are. So you are this air. This air is spirit. This air is soul. This air is the invisible force that keeps this body alive, that keeps the body of the rat alive, of the dog alive. It's the air that keeps the plants making food for us. Everything lives in this air and survives on this air because this air is the spirit. I know for some religious people, based on your conditioning and your understanding, this might be even difficult, anathema, for you to hear. You might not like it. You like to think mythical about things like spirit. But if you really think scientifically, this air is the consciousness. This air is you. This air is the energy. This air is what keeps the body moving, alive. And when it dies, the soul, the spirit leaves. So a spiritual life is a life in which you, the body, merges. How deep you merge with the air, this one, is how spiritual you are. How deep you breathe. Many people breathe from their chests chronically because they are stressed by life, because they do not move. They are seated in their offices, in their cars, luxury cars. They don't move. And so their breathing is only in the chest. But those who know, the ancients, the wise people from the East, India, China, know that your health is bettered, supremed, excellented, if those words exist, by how deep the air enters your body when you breathe. That is why they advocate for abdominal breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, where you are breathing through your stomach. When you inhale, the stomach enlarges like a baby. When you exhale, the stomach, the chest doesn't really move. This you achieve through the practices of pranayama, like I was telling you what I did this morning, but also an active life, like walking, running, exercise, lowers your breathing down to the abdomen. Practices like meditation that remove stress and propagate relaxation. Those processes promote deeper breathing. The deeper you breathe, the more of the air you bring into every cell of your body. You want to breathe deep so that you connect more with spirit, which is this air around you. This air is conscious. This air is you. It's what you are. It's where all your ancestors are, here. It's what is, it's what will be. And that's why there is no death. Death is an illusion. Death is just a separation of you, yourself, from this body that you have been using, this powerful machine, this one, which God made with the most amazing creativity. When you separate from it, go back to source. Death is a myth. There's no need to fear death. You cannot die because you are energy. You are the sun. Uh-oh, I said that. That's a topic for another day. You are the sun. So you cannot die. Don't let anybody deceive you. Take some time to contemplate these things that I'm talking about. Then you stop fearing death, because most of the fear that you experience in this realm, this fear that keeps you enslaved and in bondage, when you boil down to the lowest common factor of the fear, most of the fear is the fear of death. Most of the anxiety and the worry that you experience in your life, whether you know it or not, is the fear of dying. So when you wake up and open your eyes and change the way you see and realize that you cannot die, you can only undress, disconnect from this body that you borrowed from the earth, then you wouldn't mind. You'd go on living fearlessly. And a fearless life is a life of freedom. You only have freedom when you have no fear, which is an ideal situation. But what is impossible for God? When you surrender your whole life to God, one of the things He works on is fear. The Bible says, do not fear. I don't know, 1,000,000 times in that book. Because one of the gifts that God gives those who seek him, that spirit gives those who engage with him, it, him, her, is elimination of fear. So the deeper you breathe, the more you connect with the air, the healthier you become, the more aware you become, the more you change your perspective. So you're seeing changes, your knowledge changes, just because you are connecting more with this source of all knowledge, source of all consciousness, is going deeper into your body and deeper into the cells. That's why you need good blood flow, because blood flow is the one that picks spirit from your lungs when you breathe it in and then carries it to every cell in your body. Spirit, air, omwisyo, omwoyo, chi, prana, life force. So you do not want any blockages in your blood stream, in your blood flow. So as you're exercising, as you're doing breathing exercises, as you're fasting, because one of the things that blocks your blood is the food that you eat. This butto, these meats, pork, this alcohol, inflammation, this sugar, inflammation. It hurts your cardiovascular system, the pipes that carry the blood, blocks them, inflames them, blocks them, changes their elasticity, affects the flow of blood and therefore the flow of spirit to every cell in your body, because the only thing that your cells, I'm not going to say the only thing because I don't want controversy, but the major source of energy for every cell in your body is spirit, is air. So the clearer the roots are for the spirit, for the air, the clearer they are towards every cell in your nails, in your hair, the better for you. That's why this journey of holistic living that I'm on is a supreme way of living. It is the highest form of living because now I'm working directly with spirit. And spirit is all goodness. I get all my joy, all my love, all my peace, all my contentment, all my bliss. Oh, hello. Yeah. Oh man, this lovely dog. Oh man, yeah. One of the things that happens in your life when you take on the spiritual journey, when you connect with this air, is that you learn to connect with all the sentient beings of the world. That's why I do not eat animals. Because number one, they are unhealthy to eat, but I also love them. Cannot love something and then, oh, I love my cows, oh, I love my goats, oh, I have my goats, oh, I love my chicken. And then you eat your friends. So that connection anyway with the sentient beings of all the world, it comes naturally. You don't force it. It's not an intellectual thing. The moment you begin to open up your system to receive more of the spirit, it comes together with all the knowledge, because all the knowledge and the data and the information, you know, all the internet is in the air. That's why you get it on your phone. All the knowledge is in the air. So as you keep on downloading more of it deep inside every cell and every atom of your body, you become more knowledgeable. You become more aware. And so you can't eat animals. You can't at a certain level. Now, where most of us are, you think you need to eat meat. Hey, in fact, you even laugh at those who say that you shouldn't eat meat. I was once at that level. But the more you advance, the more you surrender to the consciousness that is this air. Bring more of it inside you. Commit to processes that bring more of it inside of you. You cannot love the animals and then eat them. And anyway, you also become aware of the consequences of eating meat. Very heavy to digest and very pro-inflammation, which damages this body and changes the way you see, changes your perception, and causes you to suffer. So if you want more peace in your life, you've got to bring in more air. You've then got to learn the practices, the techniques, the science of how you can bring in more of this air, more of this consciousness, and merge with it, become one with it. You've got to learn how to do this. And the techniques are this journey that I'm on. Very proud of this journey.
Now, what's wrong with you?
All right, guys, cheers. I've got to do my Qigong session. It's coming to the time I need also to break my fast. I'm going to do a stand there for about 45 minutes and then proudly go and take a bath, then break my fast and start my evening session. Cheers, man. See you. Hey, Zulu. Say goodbye, Zulu. Zulu, 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 Zulu.